All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to be exploring this really powerful, ancient framework for understanding your own mind. It comes from the Bhagavad Gita, and honestly, it might just change how you see your own emotions.
So, let's kick things off with a question I'm pretty sure you've asked yourself. Ever wonder why your mind is, well, all over the place? You know, one day you're totally on fire, clear, productive, and the next you're just restless, can't sit still. And then there are those days where, let's be real, just getting out of bed feels like a huge win.
Well, according to the Bhagavad Gita, this isn't random. Not at all. It suggests that our whole state of mind is shaped by this constant dance, this interplay of three fundamental forces of nature. And get this, they're always at work inside of us.
These forces have a name. They're called the Gunas. The text lays them out as Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. You can think of them as these three basic attributes that come straight from nature. They're kind of like cosmic threads that influence, well, everything. And they're what bind our soul to our body, through our thoughts, our actions, and yeah, our emotions.
Okay, so what exactly are these three forces? Let's meet them one by one, break them down, and really get a feel for their unique personalities and how they pop up in our day-to-day lives.
This chart here does a great job of mapping out the personality of each guna. So, first up, you've got Sattva. Think purity, light, health. But, and this is key, it binds you by making you attached to feeling happy and knowledgeable. Then there's Rajas. This one is all about passion, motion, that go, go, go energy. It hooks you with an attachment to doing things, and it all comes from craving. And last, we have Tamas. This is inertia, darkness. It's what traps you in laziness and sleep, and its root is ignorance.
So let's zoom in on Sattva for a sec. I mean, you think this is the good one, right? It's clarity, peace, that feeling of well-being. But here's the twist. The text says that even this amazing positive state can be a kind of trap if we get attached to it. You know, if we start needing to feel happy or needing to feel wise all the time. All right, next up is Rajas. You can think of this as the engine of ambition. It's that hustle culture energy, right? The passion that makes us chase goals and just constantly do more. The catch? It binds us by getting us hooked on the action itself, locking us into this nonstop cycle of craving and striving.
And then there's Tamas. This is that feeling of heaviness, of darkness, of inertia. You know when Tamas is in charge because you feel that classic brain fog. You're lethargic, confused, totally unmotivated. The Gita says it's born from ignorance, and it traps us in procrastination, carelessness, and just sleep.
Okay, let's keep going, because here's where it gets really interesting. These forces, they aren't just sitting still. They're in this constant, dynamic battle for control inside our own minds. The Gita actually describes this as an inner tug-of-war, which is just a perfect metaphor. At any given moment, one guna is winning by overpowering the other two. So when Sattva is strong, it quiets down that restlessness and laziness. But when Rajas surges, it can totally overwhelm that sense of clarity. This constant shifting, this back and forth, is exactly why our moods and mental states can feel so unstable. So, how can you tell which guna is running the show at any given moment? Well, the signs are actually super clear. When Sattva is dominant, you feel that sense of clarity, like a light of knowledge is just shining through everything. When Rajas takes the wheel, you feel that restless urge to act, fueled by longing and desire. And when Tamas wins the battle? Yep, you're hit with that all-too-familiar feeling of darkness, inaction, and just plain confusion.
Okay, this brings us to the big question, right? Are we just puppets on the strings of these forces? The Gita's answer is a definite no. And what's really fascinating is that the goal isn't just to hang out in that good, sattvic state forever. The real goal is to rise above the pull of all three of them, completely.
And this leads to maybe the most important question in the entire chapter, which is asked by the warrior Arjuna. He's basically asking, okay, so what does it look like when someone transcends these forces? How do you spot them? How do they act? And how do we get there ourselves?
The answer paints a picture of someone with this incredible, rock-solid inner stability. This is a person who isn't thrown around by happiness or sorrow. To them, praise and criticism, friends and enemies, honor and dishonor, it's all the same. And why? Because they realize it's only the attributes operating. They see it's just the gunas doing their dance, and they know that that's not who they really are. They just remain undisturbed.
So how do you actually get to this state? Well, the Gita points to a specific path.
cultivating this unwavering devotion. By dedicating yourself and serving something greater than yourself, whether that's a purpose, a principle, whatever it is for you, and doing it without getting distracted, you can actually transcend these qualities completely, and that's where you find real freedom.
At the end of the day, this ancient framework is so much more than just philosophy. It's a really practical tool for self-awareness. It gives you a lens to look at your inner world without judging it, and to start understanding the forces that are shaping your experience, literally moment to moment. So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Take a look at your own mind. Right now, which of these three forces is guiding you today?